Okay, shall we have to look at some results? Is anybody curious what the results are going to look like? Anybody have any predictions? I have a prediction. Anybody have any predictions? So, at least from what I gather, all of these artificial intelligence techniques have a kind of accuracy associated with them, right? You can also think of that as a probability. I mean, that's true about everything, isn't it? Everything is associated with a probability. And so the question we're really asking is what's the probability of getting a correct answer for each of these? Right, that's really the question. And if I had to guess before looking, I would guess that the probability of getting a correct answer in these cases is high enough to get a pass on Coursework 1, generally speaking. Like if you just want to get a pass, then this is probably adequate. Probably, not always. But if you wanted to get a distinction, it's probably not going to be good enough, generally speaking. But let's have a look. Let's have a look. So what I saw last year is the most tricky aspect of this exercise is you get an answer from these chatbots, and the way that the answer is phrased, the words, the choice of words, the chatbot is 100% confident in their answer that they're giving you the correct answer. But actually the answer is not correct, but the chatbot is telling you that the answer is 100% correct. So you're getting kind of a false positive a lot of the time. You're getting this impression of certainty where there is actually uncertainty, you know. That was my experience last year. Let's see what it's like this year. I'm going to guess it's the same this year, but I could be wrong. Okay, that's an interesting paper to choose. So this is the visualization of fluid flow. So you forgot the team names, by the way, in here. Okay, so like for this answer, this answer I can't say is incorrect, but it wouldn't be very helpful for Coursework 1 because the concept is too long. It's answered, like it's given you the concept of the paper plus a bunch more information besides the concept. So even if you have this for Coursework 1, you still have to decide, okay, which of this information do I need for my concept and which of the information and content do I have to leave out? Because you'd never be able to submit this for Coursework 1. You know what I mean? So here we have the concept plus a bunch more information. Yeah. The implementation that the authors use. Okay, the authors of the systematic a variety of visualizations to optimize this heat. Okay. Is utilization of advanced feature-based visualization. Okay, so this is incorrect. This answer is incorrect. Okay, let me say it's partially correct. So again, it's giving us a long answer, and then we have to go into the answer to figure out which parts are correct and which parts are not correct, right? So this is incorrect. Point 1 is incorrect. That's not part of the implementation of this paper. Part 2 This is correct. So that is a good summary of the implementation. But in part 3, that's correct as well. So that's a good summary of the implementation. Part 4 is incorrect. So again, we have this mixture of correctness and incorrectness. And it's a probability game, isn't it? If we could do this scientifically. What would be really fun is if we took out in vivo. Remember in vivo from the last lecture? That text analysis tool, and went through each one of these answers and highlighted the correct parts and the incorrect parts to find out what percentage was correct and what percentage was incorrect. That would be a fun exercise. Right? What is the core-related work for this paper? This is a very difficult question, by the way. So this is a difficult question, and if ChatGPT or whatever can get this correct, that would be interesting. So this is Chat PDF. Okay, Chat PDF. The core-related work for this paper, feature-based flow visualization techniques. So this is incorrect. This is a 100% incorrect. So we need, for this part of the coursework 1, we need to focus on 1 or 2 research papers and identify those research papers, summarize them in 1 sentence, and then provide a citation. So this is 100% incorrect, this one. But by the way, I did say this is a very challenging question. So this is really challenging. This is challenging for a human to answer and a chatbot, apparently, right? What are the characteristics of the input data used in the paper? Okay, this is a good question. Okay, this is correct. So that is correct about the input data. Okay, this is partially correct. It's a little bit correct and a little bit incorrect. So the first sentence is correct. The second sentence is not quite correct. This part 3 is correct. This is too much information, and that's too much information. So again, we have this mixture. It's an interesting exercise. We have this mixture of correct and incorrect information. And again, we're faced with this problem of, okay, which part of this is correct? Which part's incorrect? But for coursework 1, you have to shrink this information. You won't have time in your 2-minute video to provide an answer like this. You only have time in your 2-minute video for like 2 to 3 sentences, something like that, for each part, right? So you have to shrink it. What types of evaluation methods do the... So, by the way, this is not the correct question. So really, the answer in this the answer to this should have been like, are you sure this is the question you want to ask? Right. What type of evaluation methods do the authors use? This is incorrect. This is correct. This is incorrect. And this is correct. So this is really interesting. So we have this mixture of correct information and incorrect information again. Yeah. So that's an interesting, so this one was like half and half, like 50-50. So again, if I was using this for coursework 1, I think it would get possibly a pass. Possibly. Okay, ChatGPT 4. Okay. So there's two here. This is a small font. So the concepts, can you summarize the implementation that the authors use? Okay. So this part of the answer is correct. Yeah, I would say this is not a bad answer. It's not a bad answer, but it has to be shortened for Coursework 1. Yeah. Okay, this is too much information, right? This is too much information here. You'd have to leave out some of these things. But it's generally correct, I would say. Okay, it's a long answer that is generally correct. Yeah, so that's good. Okay. But maybe now you can see what I mean when I say you're getting answers and the way that they're phrased is with 100% accuracy. Like the chatbot is telling you, I know the answer, and I know the answer with 100% confidence. There's no uncertainty here. So you're getting that message implicit in the text, but it's not actually true. There is a lot of uncertainty there and some incorrect information. Okay, smart brushing for parallel coordinates. OpenAI ChatGPT. Okay. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is correct and that's correct, right? This is interesting here. The concept of smart brushing likely refers to an advanced or automated techniques that enhance the traditional brushing process of a parallel. So this is interesting because this is the first time I've seen words that indicate some uncertainty. So it's saying it likely indicates this. It might or could involve the following. So that's the first time I've ever seen that, where the chatbot is giving you, like, this might be the answer, which is more accurate than saying this is definitely the answer, right? If it's not sure, it should give some indication. I think in the perfect kind of application, there would literally be a probability associated with each paragraph. Like, the chatbot is 70% confident that this answer is correct. Just like in the weather, if you look at a weather app, it will say the probability of rain is this, like 25%. Something like that. So this is correct. Dimensionality awareness. Smart brushing might intellectually consider the importance of different dimensions in the data set. That's almost correct. Almost correct. User interaction, enhancing user interaction with visualization, possibly through machine learning. So this is almost correct again. Almost. If I looked at this, if somebody submitted this for Coursework 1, I would say, oh, well, they didn't read the paper. They didn't really read the paper. They're just guessing. Okay? But the guesses are very good. data highlighting and filtering. This is true. That's true. Yep. Integrating with analytical tools. This is false. So this is completely false here. But this is the first time I've seen some language that implies uncertainty. Can you summarize the implementation? I am unable to access the content of the paper. Oh, that's so interesting. However, based on the title and common practices in visualization and research, I can offer a general summary of the typical implementation. That is interesting. By the way, it would be interesting to just provide the link to the PDF directly, right, instead of the DOI. Okay, those are some interesting guesses. Data pre-processing steps are often crucial. Okay, that's false. This is a great guess. This is false, but it's not a bad guess. This is a very good guess. Yes, that's a very good guess. Performance optimization. This is a very good guess, but it's false. Integration with other tools. This is false too. Customization and extensibility. Yep, that's true, but it's very vague. Accessibility, that's false. So a really interesting exercise. What is the core related work? That's really a difficult question. Really difficult question. It will be interesting to see the day when a chatbot can answer that question. That's a very difficult question. To understand the paper space, you would need to access the paper. Okay. In this exercise, it would be fine to give ChatGPT the PDF, the link to the PDF directly. The problem here is that TVCG requires a subscription, right? You can't access that content for free. So that's why ChatGPT is having trouble there. Okay. Visual data. Okay, that's going to be difficult, this one. The concept presented in this paper. And analyze sport event data, specifically for rugby. Allows us to try and sort video data without needing detailed, non-specific sorting keys using user-friendly and combines various visual regression into facility discovery. Okay, that's not a bad summary of the concept. It's a little bit vague. It's not a perfect answer, but this starts to get into the implementation. So that's a little bit this is not separating. Remember how we had this long discussion about separating the concept versus the implementation? So there it started to get the concept and implementation confused, but it would be a pass for coursework 1. Like it would be. It would probably be like a 50 or a 60. Can you summarize the implementation? Okay. I would say this is not such a great answer for the implementation. I would want to see what are the actual features of the software that were implemented. So again, the core related work, what we're looking for, that's a very challenging question. What we're looking for is 1 or 2 specific research papers, a 1 or 2 sentence summary of those specific research papers with references, right? Everybody understand that, hopefully? So this would not get the points for coursework 1. Get -10. Okay, that's an interesting question. What are the characteristics of the input data used in this paper? The characteristics of the input data include various attributes related to rugby events. The type of event, so the distance gained towards the opposite territory start position at the time. So this is pretty correct. This is like 75% correct, this one. So start event is not correct. That should be event type. So the type of event, that was stored. The gain is correct. Territory start position is correct. Time is correct. Tortuosity is not quite correct. Tortuosity is a derived attribute. It's not part of the input data. So it's almost correct. Number of phases is almost correct, not quite. What type of evaluation methods do the authors use? Also a very challenging question, by the way. Very challenging for a chatbot. Qualitative evaluation method, engaging with domain experts for feedback on the effectiveness of user. They were closely professed. Okay, so that is correct. This is correct. That's a correct answer. Yeah, that's nice. That's great that it can answer that question. So we have a mixture of correct and incorrect information here. Did anybody try the Google one or the Microsoft one? Is everybody just using ChatGPT? So that's the one we just looked at, right? That's the one we just looked at, right? Okay. Can you describe the concept presented in the... So nobody's tried the Google and the Microsoft ones so far. The paper introduces the concept of visible natural language processing, aiming to make the process of natural language processing more transparent, user steerable, and understandable. It addresses the challenges that often act as black boxes where... So that's correct. That's a good summary of the concept. That's a very good summary of the concept. That would get a 70 or a distinction. This part is too much information, so you'd have to leave that out. That's not part of the concept, really. So this would have to be, this part would have to be left out. You wouldn't put that into the concept. You know, you would leave this part out too. You'd leave that part out. But the first 2 to 3 sentences are a good answer. The implementation. Interactive visual framework applied to text similarity. This framework allows the users to engage directly with the natural language processing pipeline. Okay, that's not a bad answer. The author's influences constitute interactive visual. There's some language errors there, some grammar errors. Yeah, I think this answer is okay. It's got some language problems, but... Okay, so this is too much information. So this is not part of the implementation, that's part of the evaluation. This is also part of the evaluation. That does not belong to the implementation section, right? Core-related work. Okay, so again, this is not correct. You wouldn't be able to get a good score for this question. For the core-related work, you want to identify 1 or 2 specific research papers, summarize them in 1 or 2 sentences, and then provide the citations to those research papers. Yeah. I think the phrasing of this question doesn't work. Like, to get a correct answer for this, you'd have to experiment with different words. Like, this question is not getting the answers that you need. So you'd have to experiment with different questions and see if you can improve the answers. What are the characteristics? Okay, that's an interesting question. Let's see what it says. Okay, so that is correct. This first sentence is correct. I would have liked to have seen another sentence that says, you know, the input to this is any text, natural language text data. That would be nice to see that sentence. This right here is incorrect. That's actually part of the implementation. That's not part of the input data. This is implementation information. It's correct, but it's in the wrong, it's answering the wrong question. Right? So yeah, this is all about implementation here. This is not about the characteristics of the input data. What type of evaluation method? Okay. Involves a case study approach along with domain expert feedback. That is correct. So this is correct. That's nice. That's nice that it's able to identify those answer that question. Okay, this is too much information. We would want to leave that part out. This is too much information as well. That's not part of the evaluation. This is correct. This is incorrect. We don't want that as part of the evaluation. Is anybody finding this exercise interesting and educational? Okay, design and implement interactive flow visualization techniques. I have a feeling, is that correct? I have a feeling that this is not correct already. I think there's something wrong with the title. Interactive flow. Okay, so no, it is correct. Okay, I thought the title was already incorrect, but that's not correct. It's correct. Okay, finally somebody tried something else besides ChatGPT. That's nice. Okay, let's delve into the paper scenario. Oh, okay. The paper titled Scenario of Antibiotic Resistance in Developing Countries. I hate it when that happens. I've seen that before, though. I've seen, like, when I tried it out myself, when I input a DOI, it summarized the wrong paper. It gave back the wrong paper. So it's the wrong paper. Everybody can see that, right? It's a good thing. Yeah, that's the wrong paper. So is this, what is Chatbot 2, by the way?
It's a Chinese AI.
It's a Chinese AI?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you provide the concept presented in this paper? Can you summarize the implementation? Okay, yeah. Focuses on developing and implementing technologies in order to visualize, understand conflict. Okay, so I guess, so is it, you ask all the questions first and then it gives you the answers, or how? I guess that's not a bad, this is not a bad answer. It's pretty good. It's very vague, but it's not a bad answer. Combination of visualization. Okay, this is interesting. I didn't see this last year. So it says this might involve the use of algorithms. So it's not saying it's 100% confident. I think that's a good thing, right? I think that's a positive thing. Like, if you're not sure about something, you want to say that you're not sure. I don't know if you guys have had that experience where you ask a question and somebody gives you an answer that's false, but they say it with 100% confidence. Like, where's the toilet? And they say, it's over there, but it's not over there. You know what I mean? Instead of, it might be over there. Like, I would rather have, it might be over there as an answer. Okay, this might involve the use of algorithms to process and analyze the flow data, converting it into a form that could be. Okay, that's correct. It wouldn't. Okay, this part's not correct. Zooming, panning, and rotating, but it almost correct. Okay, that's interesting. So again, it says likely involves a review and analysis of previous studies in the field. That's correct, but it wouldn't be good enough for Coursework 1. Coursework 1 requires you to identify 1 or 2 research papers, summarize them in a sentence, and then cite them, right? Okay, characteristics of the input data. This is not quite correct, but in this case, the input data is computational fluid dynamics data. So that's the answer. For the evaluation methods, likely they employ a combination of quantitative and qualitative. This is interesting because it's making guesses. It's making educated guesses that are almost correct. But I like the fact that it's using language like likely and probably, and it's not saying this is definitely the answer. Yeah, almost correct. If somebody submitted this from Coursework 1, I would say, oh, they didn't read the paper, right? And I wouldn't probably wouldn't pass. This one would not pass. So, just so you know. Clip sorting, interactive visualization from multidimensional data. Okay, yep, ChatGPT, Gemini, Bing. Okay, so this one, it looks like the group tried all of them. Okay, ChatGPT 4. Okay. Okay. Answer from Gemini. That's quite a small font there. Maybe we have to zoom in even more. It doesn't let me zoom in anymore? Oh, okay, it doesn't let me zoom in more. And now it's disappeared completely. It's gone. Scroll down.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, let's have a look. Here's the breakdown of the concept. Glyphs, small. This is correct, but it's not a very good summary of the concept. I would say that's not a very good summary of the concept, actually. Okay, yeah, it's not, this is not a good summary of the concept. Nope, this is not good. This is part of the evaluation, by the way. I would say this is a mixture of random information, yeah, from the paper. This is not bad. It's not 100% correct, but it's pretty good. So like the first sentence, the first two sentences are very good. This third sentence, it starts to deviate a little bit from the concept. It's got a mixture of correct and incorrect information. That's a correct, that last sentence is correct. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Can you describe the concept presented in the paper? This is it's not the information we're trying to get out. So I wouldn't recommend this for coursework 1. It's not a very good summary of the concept behind the paper. Can you summarize the implementation the authors use? Okay, this is correct. That's correct. That's correct. Yes, so this is not a bad summary of the implementation. That's pretty good. Yeah. So that was from which one? Gemini. Okay. Usability of visual classification. This is partially correct. So this is not a bad summary of the implementation. I would give it something like between a 50 and a 60 probably. It's missing out some good some important information, but it has some important information included. Okay, this is not a good answer, not a good answer. This is good. Good, this one is good. These two. So for the implementation, number 3 and 4 are correct. 1, 2, and 5 are not correct. Okay, nothing there? Does that mean that Gemini didn't answer anything? Oh, I see, I see. Okay, so that's not correct. But I like the language there. The authors would likely reference papers that explore hieroglyph properties like size, color. Yep, that's correct. It's not good enough for coursework 2. The excerpt I can access doesn't explicitly list the reference papers. However, you can find full paper here. You can remove the square paste the related work section. Oh, that's funny. So it's telling you what to do. The excerpt I can access doesn't explicitly list the reference papers. However, you can find the full paper here. Is that true? Is that true? I don't think that's true. I don't actually think you can access the paper there. I don't think that's true, actually. I don't see any square brackets either, do you? Anyways, that's interesting. I don't think it's correct, though. Okay, what is this? Anybody know what that is?
It's ChatGPT try to use a citation button. It's false.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, they're all struggling with this core related work question. That would have to be rephrased because they all look like that question's not getting anywhere. Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Okay, the characteristics of the data. Okay, likely. Okay, there it is. Likely focuses on data with the following characteristics. Almost correct, not quite. So if somebody submitted this for coursework 1, I would say, oh, you didn't get it. You didn't read the paper. Characteristics of the input data. By the way, the correct answer is a set of events from a rugby game. That is the input data. So it's a list of events in a game of rugby. And every event has a description or the attributes like the time of the event, the type of the event, the players involved, the start position of the event, the end position of the event, and those sorts of things. That's what the correct answer is. So not a good answer. Not a good answer. This is just like my dad, actually. So if you ask my dad a question and he doesn't know the answer, he will never say, I don't know. He'll never say that. He'll just give you a long answer and just keep talking and talking and talking until you're tired and then he'll stop, and you're tired, so you're just like, okay, done with that conversation. This is exactly what's happening here. So ChatGPT doesn't know the answer, so it's just spewing out words. Like, here's some words for you, here are words, and then at the end you're just like, oh, okay, enough. What are the characteristics of the input data? Almost correct. This implies that the input data could include various match statistics and player performance metrics. Almost correct, but it wouldn't pass for Coursework 1. What type of evaluation method do the authors use? Okay, that's interesting. However, here are some general possibilities for how the authors might have evaluated their system. That's nice. I mean, this is nice because those are the different categories, evaluation categories. Remember we had some lecture slides on evaluation. Those are the different styles of evaluation. It doesn't say which one, but at least it says here's what to look out for. So I could imagine, like, before you read a paper, you sit down with ChatGPT or one of these chatbots, ask the questions, then maybe you get kind of a preview, maybe, before you actually read the paper. Might be helpful, but this wouldn't be good enough for Coursework 1. Answer from chat. What type of evaluation method do the authors use? Okay, so this has nothing to do with the evaluation method, that one. Maybe with some rephrasing. I don't know if you guys have heard this new phrase called prompt engineering. Has anybody heard that phrase? Yeah, it's like a new phrase. Maybe with some more prompt engineering, we could get the correct answers out. Or something that's closer to the correct answers. Okay, this is correct, by the way. That is correct. So this paper uses a case study. It actually uses 2 case studies. Yes, so this is actually correct. Yeah, so that's good. Okay. A study of parallel coordinate plot literacy. By the way, this Coursework 1 exercise is not easy. You know, it's not easy. The skill that we're trying to learn is not easy. It takes practice. I've had, years of practice, so I have that skill now. But it is a skill, and it takes practice, and it's not easy. Okay, that's nice that somebody tried Gemini. I would imagine this would be a difficult one for a chatbot. Describe the concept presented in this paper. Yes, that is a good answer. That's a good answer. So the first 2 sentences are correct. That would be a great answer for Coursework 1. I would leave out this, so then it starts to get into the implementation. I would leave that out. That's part of the implementation. Remember, we were trying hard to separate the concept and the implementation. That's part of the learning exercise. So here, the first two sentences are correct, but then we get a little bit too much information, right? Okay. That's a good summary of the concept. Yes, that's a good one. Yeah, I think this is a good summary of the implementation. It's not bad. I mean, it's not perfect. Right, it starts to talk about the evaluation. We don't want to talk about the evaluation here. But maybe one or two more sentences about the software prototype would be good. Gemini. PLI test development, interactive educational. Okay, this is good. This part is correct and it's very good. This part is correct and it's very good. This is part of the evaluation. So that's not what we want in terms of implementation. That's part of the evaluation. But that's not a bad answer. That's a pretty good answer. Core related work. Okay, so I don't see anything about the core related work there. Okay, that's not a good answer, right? That wouldn't get you points for coursework 1. Okay, input data. What are the characteristics of the input data? Diverse across the systems with all data from different domains. Okay, so that's there's that word might be, that phrase might be diverse across the test. This could involve, so again there's that probabilistic uncertain language, which is good. I think that's good. So that's a difficult question to answer in this case because you have two sets of input data. There's actually two sets of input data for this paper, so it's difficult to answer this question. You have multivariate high-dimensional data to generate the parallel coordinates plots themselves. But then you also have a set of images as input data to the parallel coordinates plot literacy test. So if it said the multivariate data used to generate the parallel coordinates plots, and then a set of images which are the parallel coordinates plots themselves, it would be 100% correct. Yeah, Copilot. Objective test. Okay. What are the characteristics of the input data? Okay, this is not a good answer, not at all. That would get 0 points. 0 points. Zero points. Comparisons. Although this part's correct. This part. But if somebody submitted this for coursework 1, I would be like, wait a second, they're just making a bunch of guesses here. They don't really know. And they accidentally put in some correct information. You know what I mean? It's again like my dad. It's just like my dad. You ask him a question, he'll never say, I don't know. He'll just give you a bunch of answers. and hope that one of them or some of it's correct. And then it's up to you to figure out, okay, did I just get any good information or not? So the summary is these AI chatbots are just like my dad. That's the summary. Okay, the paper does not propose or use any specific evaluation method. That is not correct. So part of the evaluation of this is a crowdsourced user study. So what does that mean? It's conducting a user study online from a large collection of people that could be anywhere on Earth, right? There are some tools that let you conduct user studies, and they open them up to the entire world. Like anybody in the world can take this user study, right? Has anybody done that before? Has anybody here ever participated in a user study? You can do that. You can earn money. So some people will earn money as a job. Like they'll say, oh, I have an extra hour, I'm going to earn some money. And then you can sign up to some platforms and take some user studies and get paid for them. So it's like a side hustle. Yeah. Nobody's ever heard of that before? So you can read one of the platforms is called Amazon Mechanical Turk. So you can get paid to take user studies on Amazon Mechanical Turk. There are a few others. I'm having trouble remembering the names of the other tools at this second. But there are a few tools, and you can get paid to take these user studies, right? And they're very popular in research. So that's what we did for that paper, actually. Oh wow, there's some weird stuff going on here. This is totally incorrect. Totally, this is from a different paper. That information is from a completely different research paper, so it's random. This is even worse than my dad, actually. So I don't know what happened here, but this paper has absolutely nothing to do with sign language. What is that? What is this chatbot? Does anybody know what that chatbot is? I don't know what that chatbot is, but that's completely incorrect. Yeah. If somebody submitted this for Coursework 1, I would think they were on drugs. Like taking drugs. Yeah. Okay, do we want to do should we stop here? Is that good enough, or do we want to do one more? Does anybody have any opinions? If everybody's happy, we can stop here. Yeah? Okay, let's stop. And if you're still unhappy, you can stay and talk to me until you're happy. Yeah.